Good afternoon, dear students. Welcome to the web classes of English. I hope you are taking proper care of yourself and paying attention to your studies too. Before putting any discussion on question answer, I am reading this lesson again and suggest those who don't have a textbook to download an app of NCERT books. There you will find the books easily. Let's start with the reading. Emperor Aurangzeb banned the playing of a musical instrument called pungi in the royal residence for it had a shrill, unpleasant sound. Pungi became the generic name for reeded noisemakers. Few had thought that it would one day be revived. A barber of a family of professional musicians who had access to the royal palace decided to improve the tonal quality of the pungi. He chose a pipe with a natural hollow stem that was longer and broader than the pungi and made 7 holes on the body of the pipe. When he played on it, closing and opening some of these holes, soft and melodious sounds were produced. He played the instrument before royalty and everyone was impressed. The instrument, so different from the pungi, had to be given a new name. As the story goes, since it was first played in the Shah's chambers and was played by a nai, the instrument was named the Shehnai. The sound of the Shehnai began to be considered auspicious, and for this reason it is still played in temples and is an indispensable component of any North Indian wedding. In the past, the Shehnai was part of the Naubat or traditional ensemble of 9 instruments found at royal courts. Till recently, it was used only in temples and weddings. The credit for bringing this instrument onto the classical stage goes to Ustad Bismillah Khan. As a 5-year-old, Bismillah Khan played Gilli Danda near a pond in the ancient estate of Damrayan in Bihar. He would regularly go to the nearby Bihariji temple to sing the Bhojpuri Chaita, at the end of which he would earn a big laddu weighing 1.25 kg, a prize given by the local Maharaja. This happened 80 years ago, and the little boy has travelled far to earn the highest civilian award in India, the Bharat Ratna. Born on 21st March 1916, Bismillah belongs to a well-known family of musicians from Bihar. His grandfather, Rasul Baksh Khan, was the Shehnai Nawaz of the Bhojpur king's court. His father, Paigambar Baksh, and other paternal ancestors were also great Shehnai players. The young boy took to music early in life. At the age of 3, when his mother took him to his maternal uncle's house in Banaras, Bismillah was fascinated watching his uncles practice the Shehnai. Soon Bismillah started accompanying his uncle, Ali Baksh, to the Vishnu temple of Banaras, where Baksh was employed to play the Shehnai. Ali Baksh would play the Shehnai and Bismillah would sit captivated for hours on end. Slowly he started getting lessons in playing the instrument and would sit practicing throughout the day. For years to come, the temple of Balaji and Mangala Maya and the banks of the Ganga became the young apprentice's favorite haunts, where he could practice in solitude. The flowing waters of the Ganga inspired him to improvise and invent ragas that were earlier considered to be beyond the range of the Shehnai. At the age of 14, Bismillah accompanied his uncle to the Allahabad Music Conference. At the end of his recital, Ustad Faiz Khan patted the young boy's back and said, "Work hard and you shall make it." With the opening of the All India Radio in Lucknow in 1938 came Bismillah's big break. He soon became an often heard Shehnai player on radio. When India gained independence on 15 August 1947, Bismillah Khan became the first Indian to greet the nation with his Shehnai. He poured his heart out into Rag Kafi from the Red Fort to an audience which included Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, who later gave his famous Tryst with Destiny speech. Bismillah Khan has given many memorable performances both in India and abroad. His first trip abroad was to Afghanistan, where King Zahir Shah was so taken in by the maestro that he gifted him priceless Persian carpets and other souvenirs. The King of Afghanistan was not the only one to be fascinated with Bismillah's music. Film director Vijay Bhatt was so impressed after hearing Bismillah play at a festival that he named a film after the instrument called Goonj Uthi Shehnai. The film was a hit, and one of Bismillah Khan's compositions, Dil Ka Khilona Hai Toot Gaya, turned out to be a nationwide chartbuster. Despite this huge success in the celluloid world, Bismillah Khan's ventures in film music were limited to two: Vijay Bhatt's Goonj Uthi Shehnai and Vikram Srinivas's Kannada venture Sanadi Apana. I just can't come to terms with the artificiality and glamour of the film world, he says with emphasis. Awards and recognition came thick and fast. Bismillah Khan became the first Indian to be invited to perform at the prestigious Lincoln Center Hall in the United States of America. He also took part in the World Exposition in Montreal, in the Cannes Art Festival, and in the Osaka Trade Fair. So well known did he become internationally that an auditorium in Tehran was named after him, Teher Mausiqui Ustad Bismillah Khan. National awards like the Padma Shri, the Padma Bhushan, and the Padma Vibhushan were conferred on him. In 2001, Ustad Bismillah Khan was awarded India's highest civilian award, the Bharat Ratna. With the coveted award resting on his chest and his eyes glinting with rare happiness, he said, "All I would like to say is teach your children music. This is Hindustan's richest tradition. Even the West is now coming to learn our music." In spite of having traveled all over the world, Khan Sahib, as he is fondly called, is exceedingly fond of Banaras and Jamran, and they remain for him the most wonderful towns of the world. A student of his once wanted him to head a Shehnai school in the USA, and the student promised to recreate the atmosphere of Banaras by replicating the temples there. But Khan Sahib asked him if he would be able to transport river Ganga as well. Later he is remembered to have said, "That is why whenever I am in a foreign country, I keep yearning to see Hindustan. While in Mumbai, I think of only Banaras and the holy Ganga. And while in Banaras, I miss the unique Matha of Damran." Ustad Bismillah Khan's life is a perfect example of the rich cultural heritage of India. one that effortlessly accepts that a devout Muslim like him can very naturally play the Shehnai every morning at the Kashi Vishwanath temple. So dear students, before answering any of the question, you need to go through the story first. Go through means read carefully. Until or unless you do so, you read the story properly, you will not be able to write what is asked. Here we have two long questions based on this story. Number one would be on Shehnai, and the second question would be on Bismillah Khan. My dear students, first of all read the question carefully, then only start writing down the answer. The first question here is, describe the story of the birth and the christening of the musical instrument Shehnai. I repeat, describe the story of the birth and the christening CHRISTENING नामकरण of the musical instrument Shehnai. So dear students, for writing down the answer of this question, you can start it as the Shehnai as it is given in the question. The Shehnai is a modified form of the pungi. It is a musical pipe instrument made of reed. Once a man played it before the Emperor Aurangzeb, and it produced a very sharp and loud sound that the Emperor didn't like it. In fact, he hated the sound, that he ordered a ban on this musical instrument. The fact says that he put a ban on all the reeded noisemakers. Later, a barber who was born in the family of Muslim musicians decided to improve the tonal quality of the pungi. For making this improvement, he chose a pipe with a natural hollow stem, and it was longer and broader than the pungi. He made 7 holes on its body. Then he played by opening and closing some of its holes, and this improved instrument produced a melodious sound. Then this barber played this improved version of pungi in front of the king and his courtiers. They liked its sound so much, they decided to give it a new name. The story goes like this: as this instrument was played in the Shah's chambers and was played by Anai, so they decided to merge these two terms, Shah plus Nai, and it became Shehnai. The point I want to tell you here is that if you are asked about pungi or Shehnai, so you must concentrate on writing the sentences on Shehnai or pungi. If you do this way, you will be given good marks. Dear students, the second question is, which quality of Bismillah Khan made him unique and exemplary? Unique means different from others. Exemplary means who sets example for others. For the answer of this question, I would suggest you to focus on writing about Bismillah Khan, his life and his achievements. You can start this way as, Bismillah Khan was a born musician. He was born with the gift of music. He belonged to the family of Muslim musicians. Despite being Muslim, he was above any casteism or religion. As a child, he used to go and sing in a local Bihariji temple in his hometown. His voice was so melodious that he would be given a big laddu as a prize at the end of his singing by the local Maharaja. It was an achievement for a child. Later, he started going to the Vishnu temple in Banaras with his uncle Ali Baksh. He got so impressed from his uncle's playing on Shehnai that he trained himself too for being a good Shehnai player. The waters of Ganga inspired him a lot to create the new ragas on Shehnai that were taken impossible to be produced on Shehnai earlier. Not only did he win much desired awards or the coveted awards, but also took the honor of bringing Shehnai to the front of the stage. Bismillah Khan is the person who brought the Shehnai to the front of the stage. Earlier it was played only at the back. Once a student of his requested him to be the head of a Shehnai school in the USA, but he denied to work in the USA because of his strong affection with Banaras and the river Ganga. Two filmmakers also made films on his life and the Shehnai in our country. But money couldn't attract him. On 15th August 1947, he was given the rare honor of playing the Shehnai at the Red Fort to welcome the independent nation. In spite of much success and fame, he remained attached to his Hindustani culture and his love for Banaras, the river Ganga. He even refused to go to Pakistan and chose to remain in India. Such was his passion for Hindustani cultural music that he could not let his music get affected by any narrow religious thinking. Dear students, this way you can tell this man sets an example. Thus we can say that we get a good message from his life. So this is end of today's class. Take care of yourself. In next class we would start first lesson of the supplementary reader moments. Thank you.